What's good? Ramon Carter here with Gut Check, and so happy to be here with you guys this afternoon. And today I want to talk about grind time. That's right, grind time. You always hear me talk about having a balance, that on this road to uncommon success, or on this road to finding and living and discovering your authentic identity, you're going to do a lot of things that you've never done before. You're going to push and push yourself in certain areas that have been dormant for years. Things that you didn't even know you had in you. You're going to start to use those muscles that you haven't used, in some cases ever. And it's important to have a balance. And, the last couple of weeks we talked about a few things. You heard me speak personally about taking time with my family and things of that nature. But there are always seasons, right, where you got to grind hard. There's always seasons where, for a week or two or three, maybe even a month, your only focus, your only goal is the task at hand. And I'm going to read a quick excerpt from the book. Of course, Gut Check. And this is from the chapter entitled The Power of Renewable Energy. So it says, recognizing energy zappers is important as you discover how to stay excited while moving forward from one goal to the next. Keep a fresh outlook as obstacles arise. Strive for renewed vigor while experiencing the highs and lows of pushing yourself past your limits. You must learn to assuage yourself of all the negativity connected to failed attempts, dead ends, or even the process of time that passes between the last goal accomplished and the one just ahead. Be self-aware while displaying consistency, perspective, and self-discipline are vitally important to your eventual triumph, right? And I named this one Grind Time because there comes a point where you have to really dig your heels in and dig your nails in and really put the elbow grease in. But I understand that most of you understand what it is to grind. We've been grinding in, as Stephen Pressfield says, shadow careers for years. Grinding in things that just pay bills, or grinding in things that are just necessities for what we have to do to hold our financial and family life together. But in this case, I want to talk about grinding towards the vision, grinding towards the goal. And I want you to recognize that you're always going to pay more in the beginning for a bigger return on the end. You're always going to put in more hours. You're always going to put in more time and more focus. You're always going to put in more blood, sweat, and tears in the beginning that you get out. But you're doing this to build the momentum as things begin to build towards the end of your journey. Remember, you're building this thing over time. And so I want to specifically talk about today, I want to talk about not the grind, but I want to talk about the things that are energy zappers, the things that will pull you out of the grind. I'll be transparent and I'll start with me. One of the biggest things that I fight with, been fighting with all my life and still fight with, is procrastination. The fact that I'll always want to tell myself, I can do it tomorrow, or these are the days that I have to do it. And instead of doing what I need to do, I'll do other things. Sometimes it'll just be laying around watching TV. Sometimes it'll be just engaging myself in things that are not central to the goal and to the task at hand. But what I've learned over the years is that I have to really be vigilant over this thing. I have to be vigilant over my procrastination. I have to set schedules. I have to adhere to those schedules. I have accountability partner in my wife and in my mentor that allow me to push myself right past the procrastination area. And you got to figure out what it is that holds you back. You got to figure out what it is that will hold you from doing what you've been called to do. And that leads me to my next thing. Procrastination is something that I fight with and battle with and have been winning the battle over. But another thing that I realized is schedule time, right? Successful people have schedules. Successful people have plans for each day and each week so that they know they can check off their list what they need to do. And that brings them closer to the goal that they seek, right? That brings them closer to achieving all the tasks that allow them to reach the heights that they need to reach. And so it's important to begin to schedule our weeks. You always hear me talk about Domination Sunday, where we look back at the past week and see where we can make things better. And when we always plan forward through the next week to get the tasks done that we need to get done. A lot of successful people say, hey, listen, I plan my week out and each day I have a set of tasks that I need to complete. Once I complete those tasks for the day and complete those tasks for the week and complete those tasks for the month and the year, then I begin to have super success and dominate the time time that is afforded to me, because that's the only thing that we all have in common. A schedule is that you keep your time right? We all have 24 hours. You know, whether you're a hobo hopping on trains or whether you're a super billionaire, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And it's our treating of that 24 hours like gold that allows us to move forward and do the things that we need to do. And that leads me to my last point, is not only do you have to fight against those things that are inherent in you, like I fight against procrastination. Not only do you have to fight against, being able to control your time and get the most out of your time, the last piece is going to be discipline. You have to adhere yourself to the schedule. You have to adhere yourself to the grind. You have to adhere yourself to your accountability partners and the systems that you've set in place that are going to make you successful. And once you do that, grind time is going to really, really serve you well. Listen, we need a balance. We need a family time. We need time with our significant others. We need time to just chill and have decompression time. But there are always seasons where we have to grind. There are always seasons where we may lose a little sleep. There are always seasons where we may have to put a little extra work in. And it's not all the time, but there are seasons where that's necessary. I'm in that season right now myself. I got some big things that I'm going to launch out to you guys in the next week or two. And it's causing me to have to put down some things that I like to do in order to do the things that I need to do so that I can get the outcome and the results that I want to have. Listen, as always, I want to thank you guys for this time. Remember, you got to grind, right? People will tell you got to grind all the time, and your life is a grind. But there are some times you got to step it up. And in those times, you got to recognize what are the things that are holding you back. You got to make sure that you have supreme control over your time, and you got to make sure that you have the discipline to follow the schedules and the regimens and the systems that you have placed in front of yourself so that you can get the best out of what you're trying to do. Listen, as always, I leave you with these 3 thoughts. Think abundance, focus on growth, create, never compete. Thanks, and God bless.